And the continuation of Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League, the round of 16 in the rear view, and this stadium is painted in sky blue. It's New York City FC taking on Comunicaciones of Guatemala. Welcome everyone to the northeastern United States, where we can safely say it will not snow today, but it is just 35 degrees Fahrenheit as we approach kickoff. Well over an hour north of New York City. Here's a look at the 2022 CONCACAF Champions League tournament bracket. Eyes should drift to the bottom left corner. The most lopsided round of 16 fixture was NYCFC and Santos de Guatemala. In the snow in the Rocky Mountains. Let's take a look at the second leg highlights for both of these games. And yes, it was a snow game. Didn't start that way. They still had the yellow and orange ball. Colorado got the opening goal. Max Alves' first goal in a Rapids uniform, and it made it 1-1 on aggregate after Corella Espino scored in the opening leg in Guatemala City. And Colorado was beginning to really bring heat late in this game as the snow began to mount. A chance in the 89th minute. It appeared that would be the winner. It would be heartbreak for 10-man Comunicaciones, but wait, he is offside. Makes it 1-1 on aggregate. No extra time, straight to penalties, and that man, Kevin Moscoso, would be asked to be the second most important part of this team, maybe the first. The all-important shovelers in Colorado. He makes the opening save on Price in a penalty kick shootout that was littered with good saves and a handful of misses as well. Lopez denied. Andre Shinyashiki would step up to the plate for Colorado. Saved by Moscoso opens the door to a player who featured in the United States collegiately, professionally, Nicholas Samayoa. Sealing the deal, sending Comunicaciones on to the quarterfinal over Colorado. Tremendous highlights in Colorado. Things were not really in any level of concern for NYCFC when they went to Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago. Taking on Santos de Guatemala, they had 2 road goals. Carlos Magno puts that high. NYCFC another opportunity, that would be Morales. Moments later, however, Maxi Morales finds Alfredo Morales. There's the opener, 3-0 on aggregate. The floodgates would open for NYCFC from there. Tati Castellanos has been phenomenal. Maxime Chenot, the beneficiary of this odd carom. 4-0 on aggregate. Chenot, the center back, getting into the scoring. Santos de Guatemala looked good in the first 15 minutes of the first half. They look good in the first 10 minutes of the second half as well. This is absolutely blistered off the post. And while it would have been a near impossible comeback for Santos de Guatemala, they would still be looking for their first goal in Champions League. Carlos Magno scores in the 80th minute, makes it 5-0. And NYCFC would have one more for good measure after Santos was reduced to 10 men. A terrible turnover. Carlos Magno once more in the 86th minute. NYCFC 4, Santos de Guatemala 0 on aggregate. New York City 6, Santos 0. And with that, we bring you back into East Hartford, Connecticut. NYCFC is a bit of a vagabond. They have no true home this year. This will be the second venue they call home. Their traditional home venue, Yankee Stadium, will play host to their MLS Cup banner raising over the weekend when they play Montreal. This is a New York City side that comes off an MLS Cup win and 2 dominant wins in Champions League. But a 7-week road trip has left them a bit weary, and a loss to LA Galaxy and a draw to Vancouver has them on just 1 point in the league. Comunicaciones getting this far first time in the Champions League era. It's the second time they've done it in totality. And while they have tremendous belief in themselves, and they did ultimately pass by Colorado on the road, winning on the road against an American side is something they have never done before. Comunicaciones NYCFC set to match up in the quarterfinals of Concacaf Champions League. Comunicaciones of Guatemala set to take on New York City FC of the United States. A look at the starting lineup for Ronnie Dyla's NYCFC. They've made 3 changes from the weekend. It is Tavon Gray who picks up an injury. Andres Jason replaced him in that match. He replaces him in the 11. Santiago Rodriguez returns to the starting 11. He was suspended for the most recent game in Champions League. Thiago Martins will start here tonight. There is Jose Manuel Contreras alongside Sean Johnson. Marco Ortiz, just his second Champions League assignment. He's overseen the final in Leagues Cup. He's done it in CONCACAF League, and he's done it in the Mexican First and Second Division. Willie Coito sending out this starting 11 for Comunicaciones. They make 1 change by design and 1 by necessity. Rodrigo Saravia goes to the bench. Steven Robles picked up a red card inside 20 minutes against the Rapids. Oscar Santis and Nicolas Samayoa step in their stead. Angel Monroy of Mexico and Leon Barajas alongside him. The VAR and AVAR for this Champions League fixture. Players arriving toward the center circle here in Hartford. The good news is this stadium is painted sky blue. The problem is much of it is in favor of the Guatemalans. And now a moment of silence after the horrific events at Querétaro in Mexico last weekend.
Observe a moment of silence to reflect upon the horrific acts of violence which occurred over the weekend in Querétaro, Mexico, and make it clear that these types of behaviors have no place in football or in society. No more violence. What's wrong is wrong. Thank you, and enjoy tonight's
A moment of silence. NYCFC in preseason traveled to Cancun and played Querétaro. A 4-1 preseason friendly victory for NYCFC. And horrible acts in Mexico over the weekend. Now the attention shifts. The first quarterfinal in CONCACAF Champions League in 2022. Marco Ortiz will do the honors. Blows the opening whistle, we're underway. NYCFC of the United States at home to take on Comunicaciones of Guatemala. This is Rentschler Field. It's home to the University of Connecticut football team. This rolling down the line and out of play. Yankee Stadium, the typical home to NYCFC in Champions League, rather MLS, unavailable in Champions League. The stadium did not meet CONCACAF specifications. As a result, NYCFC played Santos de Guapolis at Bank of California Stadium in the round of 16 for their home match, some 3,000 miles to the southwest, knowing that they would ultimately be playing LA Galaxy in the same city on the weekend. This is the first match at home, truthfully, for NYCFC since they won the MLS Cup last year in Portland. And some others would say their true first home game won't come until they return to Yankee Stadium over the weekend. The throw for Comunicaciones, the only Central American team that remains in Champions League. Laren to the feet of Aparicio. Comes over to Morales. This ball turned over poorly. Santis. And Nangano begging Santis to settle. The Golden Ball and Golden Boot recipient in CONCACAF League. Comunicaciones, who haven't won a domestic trophy in 11 short seasons, which likely felt like an eternity to this consistent title-winning threat. Winning the CONCACAF League for the first time, and with it, qualification into Champions League. Amundsen in reverse. Collins, and back to Chanot. Chanot at the 40-yard line, so to speak. This is typically a venue for American football. The logo at midfield has been covered. The Huskies of Connecticut. There are still remnants of paint. Significant shove. Lescano's come away with the ball. Contreras. Swerved upfield, brought down Morales. Talis Magno. Morales, good find. Rodriguez. Well, flicking around, Rodriguez is after it again. Morales plays it up the line. There's pressure at the back of Jason. Lescano, one of the exciting, enticing young players of Comunicaciones, involved. Jason, one of the young players for NYCFC, who's seeing more time of late. The 19-year-old who comes from Connecticut in Greenwich, a bit closer to New York City. Moscoso. Morales, now Contreras. Anungano. Turned over by Tati Castellanos. Golden Boot winner in Major League Soccer a year ago. And Kevin Lopez carries ahead. Santis deflects wayward off of Collins. Corner, Comunicaciones. You get the feeling, based on form in CONCACAF, that this is not a Comunicaciones side at all interested in absorbing 90 minutes of pressure on the road. If they can get that early road goal, it could significantly shift the odds in a series that right now is overwhelmingly favoring NYCFC. Santis. Santis knew he was in an offside position all along. It was a set piece from 40 yards. Contreras, short touch forward, leading Corella Espino. That is the only undoing of the Colorado Rapids in their 180-minute meeting with Comunicaciones. Ultimately, that proved to be enough. And a sloppy start tonight for both teams. Uncharacteristic passing. You know, at first, when you look out over this venue, you would imagine, perhaps, that all the sky blue is a statement of NYCFC's traveling support. But when you see the Guatemalan flags draped, you can tell this is a club against a country, at least in the fans' mind. You don't have to be a fan of Comunicaciones tonight to root for them. Truthfully, they have all of Central America's Champions League hopes resting on their shoulders. Chanel rolls forward. Jason's available. Instead, Morales. Ball's brought down, teed up, and deflected backwards by the shot of Rodriguez. Collins. Lescano. Kevin Lopez. Aparicio. Apparently the temperature here, like in Colorado, cause for cold weather gear. Lopez quaffing this forward, and Chanot quells it momentarily. Look at Tati Castellanos combining with Morales and teeing up Rodriguez. Aparicio. Good turn, Santis. The backside over Lescano. That may land in New York City. Alex Larin, veteran of over 60 caps for El Salvador. So often in Champions League, we discuss the shifting paradigm of league versus international play. And for NYCFC, 6 goals in 2 games in Champions League. All lifted away by Gamboa. None in MLS. It was not a small scoring preseason for the Citizens either. Ultimately, however, Ronnie Dyla has been generally pleased with the performance of his side. Felt they created 6, 7 truly good scoring opportunities against Vancouver Whitecaps over the weekend, a match that ultimately finished scoreless. There's no panic. Morales, short of Jason. Morales. Collins. Collins picking out that wide flank service. And Kevin Moscoso prepares to kick this away. 34 saves, most in the Concacaf League. And in Champions League, he's not missed a beat. 13 saves, led all goalkeepers in the round of 16. Gamboa gives a little more work to Lopez. Moscoso. Ten minutes gone in Hartford. Game being played closer to home. And has all the feeling of a road match right now by the sounds of it. Amundsen Collins strikes this through. That's clever. Turning bicycle kick. Laid out of play by Castellanos. There seems to be a running joke among NYCFC fans. As you see Castellanos appeared to start offside, the referee allowing that play to see itself out. Castellanos is good for one bike ride a game in some capacity. All he's had to do is watch Portland Timbers at the start of this MLS season to get a feel for a bicycle done right. Tough slide in, Anungano. Santis curling. Amundsen. Talas Magno. Maxi Morales, who's turned 35 years old now since entering into Champions League this year, and still very much appears at the top of his game. Turning Rodriguez. Martins. Collins. Snagged by Moscoso. Appears that long diagonal seeking Santiago Rodriguez from Collins. Very much a part of the match plan tonight for NYCFC. They've gone to that well twice now. Talas Magno looking for the return. Gamboa. He turned that right back to Maxi Morales. Turning Castellanos, he's won a free kick. Gamboa knew he had no choice but to backheel that out of harm's way in the first place, but Morales able to link up with Castellanos. Early talking to, it comes without a booking. Moscoso has been nearly unbeatable, but perhaps it's the aptly named little genius Maxi Morales who pierces his armor. Maxi Morales to the backside and away from Collins. Alfredo Morales has gone down. You can see Morales at the near side of the post. That's a lot going on. One wonders that little whack at the end here. Ortiz likely taking some measure of discussion with Angel Monroy, the Mexican VAR. It is a corner for New York City. Moscoso comes out. Jason turned over, seeking Morales. Maybe there's room to run. Contreras. Alfredo Morales steps in. He's won the ball. He's done so cleanly. Driven forward from Magno. There's Moscoso on his own player, Gamboa. Throw coming for Gamboa. Well, it is a tremendous crowd that's arrived here in Hartford. This is the second home stadium used by NYCFC this year. Be at Yankee Stadium this coming weekend. Citi Field is the home of the New York Baseball Mets. Also play at Red Bull Arena later in the year. Are some of the touches of home, however. Mark Fratto, their regular public address announcer, serving in the role tonight. Not uncommon in Concacaf either, the idea that some teams have to play outside their traditional home venue. Morales for Jason. He's brought this down nicely. Rodriguez trying to turn the corner, has won a throw. Morales. Collins. Talles Magno finds Amundsen. Magno for Amundsen. Gamboa. Anungano for Santis, taken on by Collins. New York City loads up again, through for Castellanos, take it back. Rodriguez falls. Talles Magno! It's NYCFC who strike first in this Champions League quarterfinal. Helter-skelter, without doubt. Talles Magno in the end just had to remain calm. One does wonder whether or not Talles Magno is just a hair beyond the last defender, and this finally comes away. But the deflection and the potential touch from Gamboa's arm renders that a non-question. Talles Magno in the 19th, 1-0 NYCFC. And he now joins the Golden Boot lead in Champions League with Juan Ignacio Dineno of Pumas. And now the referee is racing over to the monitor. And VAR comes into question now. They're checking for offside. He's clearly beyond at this point. And that's going to be the question. Now, if that's deflected there by the defender, certainly a question. But certainly Talles Magno, when this ball is deflected in his direction, appears to be in an offside position. And unlike most venues, we actually have the lines pre-drawn on the field for you. Now, does that touch Gamboa's arm on the way by? A different question. One that could be even more costly to Comunicaciones. No goal. offside. NYCFC watches the goal wiped off the scoreboard. Tyler Magno can't quite believe it. The second year of video review, VAR, in Champions League has produced some staggering results. One more look at this play as Rodriguez slaloms through and Tyler Magno beyond the final defender. It's a bit disorienting for an NYCFC home game, if we're being quite honest, that it's given as offside and the crowd cheers. Scoreless nonetheless. It has been one-way traffic for New York City of late. Maxi Morales. Contreras, a bit overzealous. Castellanos. Rodriguez went down, play on. Morales, Castellanos. Castellanos from a tight angle, there's Moscoso. There are few players in Major League Soccer, dare I say, all of CONCACAF, with the gall and gumption of Tati Castellanos. There is no place on the field in which he's uncomfortable with a bit of skill. Contreras has played this short, and in doing so, he's found Lopez. Lopez serves, header away, Gamboa. Now Lescano. Ricochets back, Castellanos is on the run. Hampered with from behind, slowed by Corena, but he's whisked around him. Ahead for Rodriguez, taken by Moscoso. Driven forward again, contact into Castellanos. Take a look at Corena here. Muscling up to win the challenge. Lescano, Tyler Magno. Contreras. Lopez. He's got by Amundsen. He's on it again. Lopez! A swerving ball that lands safely over top of Sean Johnson's goal for NYCFC. 25th minute, and if this is any taste of what we get in Champions League's quarterfinal round, we're in for something special. Thrown in quickly by Amundsen. Morales caroms off of Samayoa. Former fourth round Major League Soccer super draft pick by New England. New England is on the other side of this bracket. This is the only fixture in the quarterfinal that is not MLS against the League MX. Guatemalans are standing their ground quite well. Maxi Morales, Rodriguez, Morales, Rodriguez. Goes up against the tucked in arm of Corena. And then the service to the backside. Off the mark. Tyler Magno. Gamboa trying to push it away. Aparicio. Lopez. Didn't find Anungano, who's been very well stranded thus far. Lopez. Amundsen. Morales. Maxi Morales. For Amundsen, Gamboa allows it out. Scoreless in Connecticut. New York City essentially has a tri-state area that feeds its commerce and roadways. New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut. This game being played north of New York City. For those less aware, the background of Comunicaciones, unparalleled in Guatemala. Tyler Magno. Tyler Magno pulls that across, and Gamboa, a touch by the 30-time Guatemalan champion Comunicaciones. Samayoa likely out to prove a bit of a point here. The Guatemalan full international never truly found his way into New England with regularity while he was there. Morales. Second bite of the Big Apple for Maxi Morales. He's cut this back swiftly. Sends this across. Chanel. Jason. Away from Collins. Tyler Magno finding Morales. Gamboa. Alfredo Morales. Rodriguez onside. Flick forward, Jason. Rodriguez, header down, Castellanos! Now NYCFC have pulled ahead. And it's Castellanos, joint leader for the Golden Boot in Champions League. Castellanos streaking in. Such stick-to-itiveness from Andres Jason. Rodriguez playing this across. And a man you simply can't leave unmarked. And Ronnie Dyla can celebrate more completely this time. His third of the tournament. About 10 minutes after Tyler Magno nearly scored his third of the tournament, only to see it wiped off by VAR. And Castellanos joins Juan Ignacio Dineno of Pumas UNAM atop the scoring charts. Ball ripped ahead off a deflection, Anungano. Stride for stride from Chanel. Anungano pulls this back. It's Lopez. Lopez hangs in the air for an eternity. Back to Morales, and Contreras clipped him from behind. Another look at Castellanos leaping into the equation. Second leg of this will be played in Guatemala City. That was predetermined in the bracket in advance. Commencement of play. The semifinal first and second leg determined, however, by the results garnered in the competition. Same can be said for the final. Second leg's coming next week in Guatemala. The semis begin in April. Castellanos will have to do better than that to beat the most informed goalkeeper in theory in Champions League at present. The winner of this tie will face either Seattle Sounders, who struggled through 135 minutes before throttling Motagua, and Leon had a thoroughly professional 3-0 aggregate scoreline against Guastatoya of Guatemala. Those two meeting in the opposite quarterfinal. Leaves Pumas, New England, Montreal, and Cruz Azul on the other side. Contreras has played that nicely. Haven't seen much of Laren. Lescano gives chase. Alfredo Morales has to play this away. Aparicio got a touch. Who touched that last? It is with Comunicaciones. Brilliant. Contreras. Return, Laren. Laren chasing. Gamboa. Blocked by Collins. Headed down. This shot deflects. Appeal for a handball. Play continues. Ahead. Anungano deflects once more. It's a corner. Anungano is appealing for a penalty. The offside flag has gone up. Take a look at this. You'd feel for the player here, trying to pin his arm down. Every play being viewed by the VAR. No reason, however, to check the monitor. Away goals do carry their weight in gold in this competition, as always. Brilliant. Jason. Corena, the shoulder charge. Area marginally inside the penalty area. Out of the reach of Andres Jason. Did start in college at Yale in Connecticut. Ball rolled through. Castellanos another look. Oh, look at this from Morales. It's Amundsen. Every touch seemingly for New York City has come with a sprinkle of magic on it. Back heel, no look. It's a bit of majesty in NYCFC's style of play. Something that Ronnie Dyla did not want to see disturbed against this Comunicaciones side. Aparicio helped to bring that down, and Lescano slides in dangerously. Talles Magno. The return now for the Brazilian. Goodness, he almost had Contreras in a headlock. You do get the feeling that Talles Magno is going to be a big problem. For opposition, that is. Vasco da Gama relegated, opened the door for Magno to migrate north to New York City. Well, he sought after the 19-year-old. Morales. Come to Sean Johnson. Castellanos pings this ahead. Rodriguez. Castellanos is trailing. Rodriguez is slowed. Corena. It's with New York City. Santiago Rodriguez, who was sent off in the first leg against Santos Daguapolis, 68 minutes in to his first Champions League excursion. Has played nearly 20 games between Copa Sudamericana and Copa Libertadores in CONMEBOL. Can add another feather to his cap this year. Maxi Morales, Collins, Talles Magno, right at Moscoso. Well, Castellano ultimately ends up being a bit of a decoy, whilst Collins over top. Manungano using his physicality to allow Aparicio into the picture. Numbers piling forward for Comunicaciones. Laren turned that right to Morales, who's spun out by Aparicio. Lopez. Lopez, part of the finalist Motagua of Concacaf League a year ago. From Rodriguez. As we approach the final 5 minutes before first half stoppage time. 40 minutes gone in East Hartford, Connecticut. Castellanos in the 29th minute. Castellanos chasing after this. A fruitless task with Samayoa. Moscoso puts this shy of the bench. The pressure continues. You can see the third rail off in the background. One of the most prominent of the supporters groups for NYCFC. Club in its 8th season and 2nd Champions League appearance. looking for its first semifinal. Part of the mammoth conglomerate of international footballing power, Manchester City and City Football Group. Playing what Ronnie Dyla described as a moment worth loving. Huge game, beginning of a new season domestically. Header steered onward. Tanos Magno. Rodriguez allowing Amundsen, but Gamboa streaking in. Gamboa plays with a fearless streak in possession, doesn't he? Laren. Throw for Aparicio to come. Jason. Well, Aparicio goes in after the fact. The whistle was a little bit late arriving. That would be Aparicio's argument. A yellow card's come. The additional kick after the fact. This is a Comunicaciones side already down the important services of Steven Robles, sent off against Colorado. Aparicio did pick up a yellow in the Colorado series. Spinning cross field, Lopez. As we approach halftime. CFC is asking why they can't continue on here. Martins trailing back with Lescano. Aparicio. Aparicio. Jason. Corena. Collins. Here's Chanot, the centerpiece of a defense that adds Martins to his right. 2 added minutes in the first half. Corena, good intervention. Aparicio. Whipped ahead, Lescano. Didn't reach Santis. Tanos Magno and NYCFC trying to double their money before halftime. Nongano is going to chase Sean Johnson. Gamboa marking Thales Magno well up the field. Lescano, Contreras. NYCFC bearing down, taking over possession. Morales, Rodriguez, Jason, and is 1-0 at halftime enough for NYCFC? Well, now they'll try their luck. And there is the halftime whistle. A goal wiped off by VAR for Thales Magno, but Tati Castellanos opens the scoring instead in the 29th minute of play. Comunicaciones, upset-minded on the road, can still find a road goal in this second half and have a far more enviable position in Guatemala City next week. Halftime in Hartford, Connecticut. NYCFC 1, Comunicaciones 0. The quarterfinals begin in Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League. New York City Football Club of the United States, the reigning MLS Cup champion, taking on Comunicaciones, the reigning champion of CONCACAF League. The opening goal, or so it seemed. Too simple a finish. You can see it on the monitor. Offside, no goal. Rodriguez slaloming through the defenders. It's that touch over to Tyler Magno that sees the goal disallowed. It remains 0-0. NYCFC were largely in control. Occasional efforts from Comunicaciones. Johnson jumps but doesn't have to sweat. NYCFC would find the breakthrough in the 29th minute. Andres Jason, the 19-year-old native of Connecticut, finding the diving Tati Castellanos, leaping through the penalty area and smashing home the header. The reigning Major League Soccer leading scorer, now tied as the leading scorer in Scotiabank CONCACAF Champions League. 1-0 at the half. Halftime statistics between New York City and Comunicaciones. It's 1-0 to NYCFC. Shots are even, but it's possession where you can see NYCFC flexing their muscle a little bit more. It's been Comunicaciones largely on the counter, trying to find that road goal that would change the arithmetic going back to Guatemala next week. We still have 3 more first leg quarterfinal matchups coming up this week. NYCFC playing host to Comunicaciones of Guatemala. Mike Watts returning in East Hartford, Connecticut, where Tati Castellanos has the opening marker of the affair, the 29th minute in the first leg of the quarterfinals in Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League. Later on tonight, we will see Champions League continue with León at Seattle Sounders. That fixture, we'll see the winner of this one. Contreras gets the first touch of the second half. Comunicaciones hunt for the elusive road goal. NYCFC looks to pad their advantage or take the one they have to Guatemala City next week. Ball driven through, it may hang. It didn't, however. Sean Johnson, a goal kick to come. Comunicaciones had the benefit of their weekend match postponed by the Guatemalan Domestic League. Such a busy schedule for them. For NYCFC, they are essentially finishing 7 weeks without a game in their home state. Rolled ahead to Jason, the pressure stifling from Comunicaciones. And Rodriguez couldn't keep it in. Ball dicing through, does find Sean Johnson, who was not too busy in that first half. Jose Corena sought him out. Thomas Magno carries ahead. And a foul from Gamboa. For NYCFC's 7-week road swing in preseason into the beginning of the regular season, they went to Orlando and then to Cancun in Mexico, San Jose and Costa Rica, to Los Angeles, where they played the second leg against the Costa Rican-based Santos de Guapolis, then to Vancouver in Canada. Now they play here in Connecticut. Roll back by Martins. For Comunicaciones, the road games in CONCACAF recently haven't been all that much of a problem. Their last Champions League win on the road came in 2014, but in CONCACAF League and Champions League, 4 wins from their last 6 road matches. Came away to Santis. It was a good challenge by Gamboa. Santis lost it to Castellanos, the ultimate danger man. Himself has lost it. Advantage played to Comunicaciones. Laren. Lescano. He's been subdued thus far. Contact on Anungano, rolls back to Sean Johnson. Where Comunicaciones, however, have been almost unbeatable is at home in Guatemala. 15 unbeaten since Halloween last year. Ball slid wide, Lescano. Comes off that of Jason, corner, Comunicaciones. Intriguing start for the Cremas on the road, first 3 minutes of the second half. If you're NYCFC, you want to get a winning result here, knowing that Comunicaciones has lost once in their last 37, twice in their last 46 matches at home. Driven across Laren, inches too high. Rodriguez, Thomas Magno, came off the arm of Oscar Santis. This is a Comunicaciones side that typically has not struggled to score. They've got 23 goals in the domestic league in 10 games. It's good for most in the league in Guatemala. And yet they've managed just 1 goal in 2.5 games in Champions League. What a ball forward! Moscoso to his knees. The denial of Castellanos. Wouldn't have counted anyways. And allow play to continue. Would have been offside. Thomas Magno comes in. He committed a foul. One wonders how many more he gets before the referee reaches for a card. He was counting his fouls in the first 20 minutes. Castellanos taking that out of the air from some 40, 50 yards. Chanot touches this away. Rodriguez kept it moving. Morales. Tyler Magno. Castellanos. Tyler Magno. Aparicio now for Comunicaciones. Rodriguez. Alfredo Morales. Tyler Magno. Castellanos off the post. Skipping into the woodwork. And now he's committed a foul. Few scores more ruthless than Tati Castellanos. A futile wave from Kevin Moscoso, saved by the woodwork behind him. Castellanos managed a first half brace against Santos de Guapolis on the road in the round of 16. Seeking to add to his goal tally in Champions League again here in the second half. Scored in the 29th minute, that's the difference for now. Jason was stripped. Lescano, Contreras. Squares, Lescano, Laren. Simple for Sean Johnson. Johnson is the standard bearer for NYCFC. Has a chance to approach 400 matches club and country. His illustrious professional career, still the young age of 31 as far as goalkeepers go. Jason's been asked a lot in this game. Morales. Return from Castellanos. Morales sidestepping Contreras. Lopez felt he was obstructed. Aparicio trying to get by Collins. Cross field. Jason has to deal with it. And did so calmly enough. Both teams are unchanged at the half. Crowd here heavily partisan to the Guatemalans. Makes their voice heard. Turned over to Contreras. Gamboa. When can Anangano truly get into the attack? He's been silenced. This attack, however, roars. Sentis crossing, header wide from Kevin Lopez. For Lescano, it would have been a tap-in at the back post. But as he halts his run, Willie Coito in agony. That close to a road goal that would have sent this venue into an uproarious applause. Comunicaciones are presenting some problems now for NYCFC. Laren. Laren throws as quickly as he can. Aparicio. Lescano for Nungano. Tanos Magno trying to get this away from Sentis. Gamboa kept it moving. In steps Contreras. He bypasses Rodriguez. Scintillating stuff in the first 10 minutes of the second half from Comunicaciones. Brought down, foul by Magno. Free kick, Comunicaciones. The side who have made set pieces a prominent portion of their match plan in Champions League. And Lopez helping to create once more. Laren, Contreras, await. Johnson aligning his NYCFC defense. Laren went for goal! It's wide. Sean Johnson appeared to have that well read. This crowd very much alive. Tanos Magno trying to thread ahead Rodriguez, and Samayoa the foul. About 3,500 kilometers as the crow flies. 2,100 miles between Hartford, Connecticut, Guatemala City. The combination breaks down, but Jason stepping forward. Rodriguez reaches the touchline and Contreras arrives. Comunicaciones said this was not about participation. Came here to win. Talked about bringing glory to Guatemalan football. Right now, they're attempting to bring it to all of Central America, which, beyond Comunicaciones as a club, has been exiled after one round of Champions League this year. Acrobatic header away. Castellanos returns. It's taken on by Corena. Sentis couldn't hang on. Now Castellanos. Gamboa arrives. Sentis. Aparicio. Gamboa. Did enough to keep that off Castellanos. Lopez sprints forward. Laren, Lescano. Contreras, options begging to be released by Contreras. Bouncing into the back line of NYCFC. Foul, Jason. Oh no, no foul at all. Laren can throw. Anungano. Corner, Comunicaciones. An hour in, the pendulum swinging to the road-weary Guatemalan side. In near-freezing temperatures, thousands of miles from home. They're putting NYCFC under pressure. Laren bounces to the backside. Lopez crossing. It's Gamboa! Soak it in! Connecticut is blue. It's Comunicaciones blue. It is Guatemalan blue. Ball tap back to the backside, opens Lopez up. Gamboa went up for the initial header, and he waited his turn. A touch from Johnson put it right on to the Panamanian's foot. Emmanuel Gamboa gives the road goal to Willie Cueto's exuberant bench. And Comunicaciones lead on aggregate, level in the first leg, 1 goal apiece. The goal was checked and indeed given. 6 games in the domestic league since arriving in the winter window from Plaza Amador in Panama. Emmanuel Gamboa has scored a goal that may well end up being famous for many years to come. Service toward Anungano, away by Chanot. NYCFC looks out of sorts. And yet you know how quickly they can strike. Play waved on. Samayoa. Anungano trying to get a piece, and Morales plays it back. NYCFC certainly has more firepower available to them. Thiago Andrade, Eber. In midfield, they've got the capable legs of Keaton Parks. Even without Nicolas Acevedo and Tavon Gray, one more established perhaps than the other. They still have depth that could impact this game. The starting 11 still efforting. Maxi Morales. Morales leading by example. He's won the ball back. New York City took the lead in the 29th minute. 60th from that man, Gamboa, to equalize on the night, to give the road goal to Comunicaciones. Every year there seems to be one story that stands above the rest in Champions League. Tyler Magno rolling this through beyond Rodriguez. This Comunicaciones, who have already endeared themselves to so many by their performance against Colorado, could they possibly spring a second upset? A semifinal in a major international tournament, the prize at the end of 2 legs. Knowing they've only lost 2 of their last 47 since 2020 on their home ground. Floated forward Rodriguez. Corena. If they lead leaving here, history says Comunicaciones suddenly become a favorite against all odds. All prognostication entering the second leg next Tuesday night. Alfredo Morales. Morales, Magno, Castellanos, Maxi Morales! A spectacular finish. He's given life to this NYCFC crowd. 2-1 New York City. What a remarkable finish. Castellanos puts it on a platter, and Maxi Morales delivers. Always the man for the big occasion. He's sapped the momentum from Comunicaciones with one swift first-time finish. Thiago Andrade comes on first. He's joined by Keaton Parks. 5 substitutes allowed in 3 windows. Magno coming off. Maxime Chanot exits as well. These substitutes were already in place before the goal. Just hadn't been brought onto the field yet. Guatemala has had such a tepid history in Champions League against American sides. 11 wins, 3 losses, 4 draws, but Comunicaciones has gotten a result in 3 of their 6 matches. The effort, the will from NYCFC now. Slide in from Samayoa after Castellanos sparked the charge. Morales. Harsh challenge. Taking out the legs of Amundsen. Kevin Lopez goes into the book. Rolled out to the halfway line after Amundsen's yellow card. Jason has paid a particular price in this game. He and Laren collide once again. Scano having to come back. Just came off of Contreras. Keaton Parks. Ahead, Andrade. Ball lifted forward. Back heel to Castellanos. Bypassing Andrade. Head for Nangano. He was outnumbered. Andrade back pass sends New York City flailing backward. Collins. In steps Gamboa, the Comunicaciones goal scorer. Rolled down the line. The flag is down. The service toward Lescano, it's Jason. Andrade pushes forward. And now NYCFC with numbers. Castellanos, Rodriguez! For a moment, it looked like NYCFC was pushed to the brink. But against the ropes, they come punching back, 3-1 up. A more sweet memory for Santiago Rodriguez in Champions League. A magnificent finish past the charging Moscoso. And New York City striving to eliminate any doubt. NYCFC lead 3-1. And it has gotten quiet in Hartford. Offside flag was up. 73rd minute for Comunicaciones. That road goal does open a path to a 2-0 win at home to advance. NYCFC well aware of the value of that road goal. They're after more. Morales. Santiago Rodriguez. How clean is this from Maxi Morales? Leading the charge, Castellanos. Seeing the third beyond the two Comunicaciones defenders, simply stretched beyond their means. New York City cashes in with a clinical 3-on-2 scenario. Lescano. In goes Andres Jason. Keaton Parks. Is there more for New York City? Rodriguez. Alfredo Morales. Two changes await for Comunicaciones. Parks. His pass denied. Comunicaciones are running. This from some 50 yards. Off-kilter effort. And here are the changes. Rodrigo Saravia, who played in the U.S. in Kansas City and Columbus. And Nelson Garcia will come on. Andres Lescano, you can hope he has a bigger impact in the second leg. He has struggled to replicate all that he brought to the equation in CONCACAF League, here in Champions League. They're the first two changes for Comunicaciones. Oscar Santis coming off as well at the stop. Had some bright moments, not nearly enough. Was critically involved in Comunicaciones' goal. Scored in the 60th minute. Leveled the match at 1. Now 15 minutes later, NYCFC have taken command 3-1. Johnson, Parks, Jason, in goes Laren, Martins. $15,642, the announced attendance in Hartford. They've gotten a show. Castellanos, gulped in by Moscoso. This is Rentschler Field at Pratt and Whitney Stadium. The capacity officially over 40,000. Stadium that opened about 19 years ago. It has been used for international matches previously, no doubt. Handful of games for Hartford Athletic, the USL Championship side that drew over 11,000 back in 2019 for their inaugural match. As far as MLS has gone, handful of NYCFC games. Trouble brewing. Garcia outwitted. Comes over to Jason. Toronto FC also called it home for much of 2020's MLS regular season. Ball thrusted forward. Once more, NYCFC has quelled it. Martins did it. Andrade sent down. And then the U.S. men's and women's national team have been here. The U.S. men playing their match against Costa Rica in the Gold Cup here. World Cup qualifying in 2006. Handful of friendlies. Landon Donovan's final game for the national team in 2014, although many likely didn't know it at the time. Liverpool has played here. The U.S. women in the Tournament of Nations, a wild 1-1 draw with Australia. They've beaten Mexico here a couple of times in friendlies, sandwiched around the United States Independence Day of 2021. So while you see lines on the field, there is history that's blossomed in this venue. This, however, the first Champions League match played Rentschler Field. Parks. Castellanos, Rodriguez, he's the most recent goal scorer. Jason. Castellanos swarmed, Contreras. Gamboa. Second row goal for Comunicaciones in these final 11 minutes and stoppage could carry tremendous weight. Garcia, who's brought on for the attacking flair. Settled, bicycle kick from the edge of the area is off target from Kevin Lopez. If you score from there, it's a global phenomenon. Contreras. Nongano chasing. Intriguing late in this game to see Maxime Chanot coming off. One wonders how this NYCFC team is dealing with the tremendous amount of travel. About 3,000 miles tacked on, coming back from Vancouver, an off day on Monday. Got to work on Comunicaciones on Tuesday. We'll be home for the weekend and then travel to Guatemala. One match played on their true home field in 8 weeks by the time NYCFC arrives in Guatemala City. Eber next to enter for NYCFC in all likelihood. Morales. Martins. Parks. Gambo overcooked that. Well, the ball was being played, but Eber is set to come on. Maxime Morales scored a remarkable goal. Teed up by Castellanos, plucks it out of the air. Off the top of the netting, and goes to celebrate with the NYCFC fans beyond the Comunicaciones goal mouth. He re-signed 1 year plus an option. Player who burst onto the international scene in 2007 as an under-20 World Cup silver ball winner for Argentina. Career that's seen him span from Mexico to Russia to Italy. And a brief cup of coffee in the Argentine national team. But at NYCFC, he has been their longtime talisman, and it does continue in his 6th year. Meanwhile, Gamboa comes off. Comunicaciones, 2 changes, Aparicio off. That's Alan Yanez, who played 2 years in the American Second Division for NYCFC's theoretical chief rival, New York Red Bulls, and New York Red Bulls 2. Went from there to Comunicaciones in 2019. And Carlos Castrillo has come on for Gamboa. And Aparicio and Gamboa's days done. It's 4 substitutes used by Comunicaciones. They've got 1 sub, 1 window to use. Andrade back to Parks. Alfredo Morales left that short. Here's Garcia, as if fired out of a cannon. Garcia. Eber. Gamboa scored in the 60th. It leveled the match, but Comunicaciones ahead on aggregate in the first of two legs in the quarterfinals. As quickly as they had ignited this stadium, NYCFC swiftly put down the insurrection with two quick goals. Maxi Morales and Santiago Rodriguez turned the tide back in New York City's direction. What a battle this has been. Comunicaciones said they would leave it all on the field tonight. Oftentimes that's an overused cliche. I'm not sure it misses the mark by much this evening. Yet New York City, once they did in fact open the floodgates, run away a bit. Johnson. Morales. Ball threaded ahead, short of Eber, and launched the other way. This is promising for Comunicaciones, reaching the end line and plucked by Sean Johnson. Three minutes and stoppage time to go. Contreras playing this ahead. Turning back, Laren seeking Anangano. Who entered into the play from an offside position. If NYCFC's goal tonight was to make that man irrelevant, they've largely done that. Juan Luis Anangano has been silenced. The Ecuadorian international who had a brief stint in Major League Soccer before NYCFC even existed. Header down, Andrade. Circumnavigating the pressure, slid forward Lopez. Anangano trying to race through. Finally Anangano on the ball. Deflection comes upfield. Anangano, a foul from Parks, who can't believe it. Don't need closed captioning to see him ask, how is that a foul? He's involved in Anangano. Laren lofting. Johnson will glance over his shoulder. As it stands now, Comunicaciones could go through at 2-0 when they return home. A couple away goals for NYCFC would really put Comunicaciones to the sword next week. That's the end of the night for Santiago Rodriguez. He scored in the 71st minute. Gideon Zalalem checks on now. The 25-year-old who Honey Dyla says he still believes in. 25, time in the German youth national team, the American youth national team. Developed in part with Arsenal and Hertha Berlin. Really find his way in NYCFC with more regularity. He got a lot of praise for his performance in the first leg against Santos de Guayapolis. Yanez will allow Castrillo to throw. It's becoming more and more far-fetched that Comunicaciones could lead at the end of the night. The idea that they could get a second road goal still hangs in the balance. If you think this crowd is pro Comunicaciones, wait till you see the one next week in Guatemala City. New York City known as a melting pot. It's allowed Comunicaciones fans to come out in force. Ball for Anongano. Zalalem gave that away. Anongano wants the service. There's the ball forward. It's flicked on and off the post, and Jason clears it away. What a spectacular goal that would have been. Unreal. Rodrigo Saravia. Corner, headers away, final minute now. Andrade. Contreras chasing late in the match. He's won a throw with half a minute to go. Anongano. Maybe there's one more chance in this for Comunicaciones. It's snuffed out. Parks and NYCFC will siphon off the final seconds. Sky blue painted all over this venue tonight. Comunicaciones equalized, but NYCFC pulverizes in the final half hour. Castellanos tied for the Golden Boot lead in CONCACAF Champions League as NYCFC wins their first leg fixture in the quarterfinal, 3-1, and travel to Guatemala City for the second leg next Tuesday night against Comunicaciones. NYCFC 3, Comunicaciones 1. quarterfinal action in Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League. New York City FC playing in front of a pro-Guatemalan crowd, taking on Comunicaciones. The opening goal appeared to come by way of Tanis Magno, but after further review, VAR strips the goal away. It is offside. Santiago Rodriguez last to touch it for NYCFC as he pushed through the defense. Tanis Magno was in an offside position when the ball was in fact released. NYCFC would jump on the board, however, in the 29th minute. Andres Jason, all the work to make this happen. Then the service finding Castellanos leaning toward goal. Fine finish puts NYCFC ahead. NYCFC in the second half would struggle a bit with Comunicaciones at the outset. It appeared that Castellanos could have put a dagger down. Instead, hits the bottom edge of the post. And then Lopez finding Gamboa. Comunicaciones pull ahead on aggregate, even on the night, 1 goal apiece. 1-1, an hour gone. How would NYCFC respond? The answer, emphatically, floated up Maxi Morales. A reminder of why he is one of NYCFC's all-time greats, one of MLS's all-time assassins. Strikes while the iron's hot from Castellanos. And NYCFC 2-1 up, but they weren't done yet. Andrade starts the other way, and NYCFC with one swift flick through by Morales opens the door. Castellanos finding Rodriguez. 3-1 on aggregate. And while the fans at the end of the night would applaud Comunicaciones for their effort, it's NYCFC who hold a 3-1 lead going to Guatemala City. There was, however, a late chance or two. Rodrigo Saravia hits the post. A second-row goal could have been a game changer. Alas, New York City 3, Comunicaciones 1. For our entire team at home and abroad, Mike Watts saying thanks for watching Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League as NYCFC holds a 3-1 advantage as we head to Guatemala City next Tuesday night. So long for now from Hartford, Connecticut.